I literally made over $400 this month by cat sitting on Rover. Here's how you can too. What's going on? My name is Cole Connor. I'm an artist and entrepreneur, and I was put here to do two things: create and inspire. Thanks for being here. Let's get into it. What's going on? My name is Cole Connor. I'm an artist and entrepreneur, and yes, do I have a stain on my brand new white shirt? I do. Will you notice it? I hope not. I just left my very comfortable real estate photo business in South Carolina and moved to Los Angeles, California with my girlfriend and two cats. I have had money saved, but not enough to last more than like a month or so when it comes to, deposit and trying to buy stuff and getting here, all that jazz. So what does the hustler inside me do? Naturally, I prepare for the worst and set up every possible side hustle / business I can to help get me through the next couple months. I need to stabilize so I can focus on the content that I want to create. Coming from a small town, Rover wasn't especially an option. Not that I was even interested in it then, but ever since I first saw it a couple of years ago, I was very intrigued in the idea of what it could be. Well, 1 month of being in Los Angeles, I can say that I successfully launched this little side hustle on Rover, and I'm actually looking forward into what it can turn into. So let's get into it, the good and the bad. Setting up your account, it's a fairly simple process. Much like other apps, Uber, Airbnb, it will take a couple days to get you successfully signed up with a background check, etc. I feel like one of the most important things that you can do on the app is make sure that your profile is set up top-notchedly. Not a word probably, but you need it to look sparkly, clean, and fun, and awesome. You need to be the best pet sitter available, because in a big city especially, there's a lot of options. I'm already pretty heavily set up on Instagram, and social media is kind of my thing, and I put a lot of time and energy into making sure that I look cool and open and fun on my social media, so I just translated that directly to my profile. Well, let's talk about first what Rover actually is. Rover is an app that allows pet owners to search for pet sitters. It could be dog walking, it could be check-ins, it could be feeding, it could be literally taking care of someone's house, like with their animals in it while they're gone, and it just connects someone like me, a pet sitter, with a pet owner, and you can legitimately make money by hanging out with other people's pets. Pretty cool. So let's talk about some tips that can make your profile more appetizing for a pet owner. I am also a pet owner, and I would be a little skeptical using the app in general, and we actually are going to be using the app in October, so we'll see how it goes. But I definitely want someone who is not going to mess with my stuff, who feels trustworthy, who I know is not going to kill my animals. It's pretty fragile things that you're working with here. First thing is make sure your profile pic pops. I like the yellow one that I have. I think it pops, but if it's just a picture of you, a regular picture, and you're not in the social media world, just make sure you look really happy and trustworthy and open, all those things. It's really also important that you have pictures with multiple animals. I took pictures of my mom's dog, me with my mom's dog. I took pictures of me with the cats, Ollie and baby girl. And I just wanted people who look at my profile to see that I am good with animals and I actually love animals, and I think it worked. Make sure that you answer all of their questions that they have for your profile pretty thoroughly and enthusiastically. That's just like with anything that you fill out and do, where people are going to be judging your questions and your answers. Just make sure that you fill it out to the best of your ability and don't half-ass it. I know there's some half-assers out there. Don't do it. I like to use emojis with these types of things. I think it increases your funness, your happiness, and your trustworthiness. I do that with business too. Some people might think it's weird, but I think it's fun, so I would do that. Also, you make sure you get a couple of reviews from friends and family. I probably should have gotten more, but I got 2 off the jump who I made sure they did a really good job, and they did a really good job, which is awesome. I think that added to my profile strength. And lastly, when people reach out to you, just respond really fast. I think people appreciate that. I'm giving these tips because both of the people that hired me in the first month of being on the app said that my profile looked trustworthy, and when I did the meet and greet, they just felt really good and comfortable. And I think it's like the most important thing when it comes to gaining clients on this app. Like I said, people are legitimately inviting you into their home and taking care of their like legitimate pet babies. You have to think about it from their perspective. When it comes to pricing, I would start out with what they recommend or the absolute minimum that you're willing to do something for, because you need to get some clients in the door first. It's just like with any business or side hustle. You got to start somewhere, and I think it's okay to go a little bit below your minimum to get started. I did that, and I ended up upping my price later on because I felt like it was just a little too cheap. And so it's okay to up your price later on once you get some clients and some reviews. What's pretty cool about gaining clients on this app is that most likely they'll become repeat clients, because no one wants to go through the process of gaining trust with someone else again. It's a really good business model actually for repeat clients. So keep that in mind. Also, make sure your travel preferences aren't set to too far away. I had one that took about 15 minutes to drive to in Los Angeles. It was only a couple miles, but whatever city that you're in, just make sure it's not too far away, because that cuts into your time, and time is money, as everyone says. Think about that. I would say 10 to 15 minute drive at the most. Last note about your profiles, make sure that your scheduling and your availability is up to date, because it's not a good look when someone schedules you and you say, I can't do it. So there's a calendar option on the app. You want to make sure that is perfectly up to date. A note on patience. I created my account at the end of August 2021, and I didn't have a booking request for the first 2 weeks. I think a lot of people sign up for this thinking it's going to be quick money. Don't sign up for this thinking it's going to be quick money. You're not going to make money tomorrow. Most likely it's going to take a couple weeks for whatever reason for the right people to pick you. I would sign up as a long-term tool to make additional income. I did have one booking that came through that I didn't accept because it was a guy wanting me to walk his dog in the next 30 minutes, and it would have taken me 15 to get there. Thought that was a little ridiculous. So you may have some requests like that come in. Don't do anything that you're not going to feel good about. And also be safe too, because you're also going into someone else's home, so you want to feel comfortable with the pet owner. In the course of 2 weeks, I got 3 bookings for over $440. One was cat sitting for 4 days. One was cat sitting for 2 weeks, and cat sitting being a 30-minute session every day. And the third was a repeat client, the first one that was 4 days, who wants me to do it later on this month. So that's pretty cool. So if they go out of town every month, that's potentially an additional $100 to $200 that I get for a couple of days of cat sitting. Every time you get a new client, I highly recommend doing a meet and greet. It just calms everyone's nerves, because as we've already said, it's an invasive process. Also pay attention during the meet and greet, even though most people seem to leave notes, etc., which are very helpful. Pay attention as much as possible so that you don't have to ask questions later. All right, let's talk about the actual work. To be honest, this is hardly work. It's fun and easy, especially with my experience so far. I've had to water some plants, clean litter, do some light sweeping, feed cats, and water cats, and play with them. A pet drop-in is scheduled for 30 minutes automatically. This gives you more than enough time to do all of the above, so usually for 10 to 15 minutes, I end up just relaxing or petting or playing with the cat. Sometimes I watch a Chris D'Elia podcast. Sometimes I watch a YouTube video with me, Kevin. A few times I did leave a little bit early if I was in a rush.
You shouldn't say that.
Are you asking me to lie? But on that note, if you do leave early, you are tracked by GPS. So I would be pretty careful, because your client can see. And if you end your session early, the client is also notified. So I don't know, if you're going to do something like that, I would just recommend contacting the client and making sure that it's okay. For example, if you are in a big rush one day and you can't stay the full 30 minutes. After every visit, you have to submit a Rover card. This tells you what you did. Did you feed the cat? Did you water it? Did you clean the litter? You can leave notes, and you have to include pictures, preferably of the cat and or what you did. I try to include lots of pictures and be very descriptive if I did anything, just to make sure that they feel comfortable. One day I forgot to stop the visit, and so it said I was visiting for 9 hours, and I had a client reach out to me, and she was like, is everything okay? I saw that you didn't end the visit. That's not a good look either. Make sure that you end the visit. I could see it being concerning if maybe she thinks I was hanging out at her house for 9 hours. It's kind of weird. And like mentioned before, after I did these first 2 bookings, I did up my rate, I think $10 for the house check-ins. Yeah, it just wasn't really worth it. I'm trying to make at least a $25 minimum because Rover takes a 20% cut, something to think about. Keep that in mind when you're budgeting how much to charge for things. So let's go over really quickly the services that Rover offers. There's pet boarding, house sitting, drop-in visits, doggy daycare, and dog walking. So there are a lot of different ways to make money there. I would say the most unfortunate part about Rover is that you just kind of have to let it happen unless you're marketing yourself to your sphere of influence or using social media or ads or something like that. On the app itself, you just have to make sure that your profile is really top notch and that people find you. Let's just take a look at the app really quickly. So weird. Oh, okay. Here we go. So on your home screen, it's going to tell you the drop-in that you have of the day. So this is my drop-in. Then you have your inbox, pending things and stuff like that. Then you have your calendar. Like I said, just make sure it is up to date. Like I'll be out of town these dates. So make sure everything is up to date. I should go ahead and do December to make sure I'm ahead of the game. You can do rebookings with clients. Which I like that it makes this super easy to see your clients. And like, for example, if they text you and want to rebook, I mean, this works in Rover's favor because it's going through Rover. Ideally you wouldn't have to pay that 20% for clients that are like rebooking you. So you could, if you're trying to launch your own dog walking or pet sitting business, or you could have them pay outside of Rover, which they probably don't approve of, but you can. Anyways, and then this one is more, you can book new services. Like if I want someone to look for my pets or take care of my pets, your payments, briefly we'll talk about payments, is it's paid through PayPal, and you don't get the payment until 2 days after you're done. So for example, I don't get paid for this 2-week long cat sitting until 2 days after my last cat sitting session. So that's kind of unfortunate, but it goes directly into your PayPal account. So you have to connect your PayPal. Pretty easy as far as that goes. It just sucks you have to wait that long. Especially like what if someone books for 2 months? You don't get paid until after the 2 months is up. So that's crazy. You can look at your profile, promos and gift cards. You can promote your business, which I believe, it's just this code. If you refer a pet owner, earn $20 off their booking on Rover and you'll get your full rate. So that's kind of cool. And then you also can have an emergency hotline and then modify your services as well. And then if we look at my profile real quick, you'll see I got a picture of me and Ollie up at the top cuddling, then a picture of me and Stormy cuddling, and then another picture of me and Ollie, pictures of me and Knocklin. So what we decided to do was that we're going to try to do it together as a couple, thinking that the hope is that there's 2 of us, so it seems like we'll be double as helpful. We're more trustworthy. I think having a feminine presence is good, even though I'm a very open and fun dude, especially around clients. I think having the feminine presence is really positive, and I think it'll benefit the amount of bookings that we get. So that's what we decided to do. I added her as a sitter. I haven't changed my name and stuff yet, but I'll probably do like Colin Knock or something if she's okay with Knock and not Knocklin. I don't know. Something like that. But anyways, then you have your about section, and you can see the reviews here and the services that I offer, etc. So it's a pretty simple, easy to use app, especially once you get the hang of it. So yeah. And overall, when it comes to Rover, I think it's a great way to supplement income slowly and just doing doing something different, doing something that isn't what you usually do. It helps you get out the house. You get to play with animals, pet animals, meet different people. I think it's really good for that. It probably won't become, a main source of income for most people, but it's nice to have an extra $500 a month or something. I mean, it can go to bills. It can go to, what we talked about was having it go straight to bills. It could go to savings. I mean, it depends on what you're doing, but it's a great way to supplement. And you could potentially build it into a full-time business if you want. I just think you have to really focus on it, really promote it, and probably brand it as your own dog walking business and not on Rover. And I would want to move away from Rover because they take that 20%. Yeah, that's it for me, guys. I appreciate y'all tuning in. I hope y'all find this helpful. If you want to read more on it, you can go to the blog. And if you're really interested in taking your side hustles to a next level, like if you want to start an actual dog walking pet sitting business after watching this video, make sure to join the free masterclass at the link in the description called How to Harness Your Creative Power and Build a Business That You Actually Love. That is at the link in the description. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate you. Subscribe if you like what I'm doing. If you support me, y'all have an amazing day. I'm out. Peace.
Every day I wake up with a vision, cooking in the kitchen, ain't no fucking in a mission, like yo. Shaking up your city with my bitchin', sold in the building, and the motherfucker fizzing like whoa. Cold won't stop till they get that gold, cold won't stop till you sing my song.